Today was insanely drama-filled, and this one probably took the cake. This was the tweet from the Elon Musk. I'm saying it that way because there was parody account issues, but this is very much from the current owner of Twitter and also of Tesla and the pseudo-celebrity CEO entrepreneur Elon Musk, massively influential, stating this the day before elections. To independent-minded voters, shared powers curb the worst excesses of both parties. Therefore, I recommend voting for a Republican Congress given the president is Democratic. Hardcore Democrats or Republicans never vote for the other side, so independent voters are the ones who actually decide who's in charge. This is crazy. Literally recommending to the world to vote Republican, just so he's basically saying, let's get a little bit more gridlock in this party. And then he followed up with this. To be clear, my historical party affiliation has been independent with an actual voting history of entirely Democrat until this year. Do you know how wild things have to go for someone to be on one side and then jump to the other? And I'm sure there's stories of it both, of someone being purely Republican and in this election going Democrat, and obviously vice versa. Elon would be an example of that. I dove into this a little bit more, and the more I looked into it, the crazier it got. So please understand, this is a midterm election, and for those of you who maybe are international viewers, understand we are not changing our president. Biden will remain president after this election. It's the makeup of the rest of our elected political officials, and this is particularly for Congress, which is made of the House and also of the Senate. To understand where we're at, it is a nail biter of an election. So for our House, it's pretty much assumed that it's going to go Republican, but the Senate race, oh buddy. Oh, buddy, oh, buddy, oh, buddy. So this is from Nate Silver of 538, which is just a very advanced data modeling, statistical analysis, like website, newsletter, that type of thing. And they do breakdowns of everything, of politics, of sports, the list goes on. But anyway, our model currently predicts Republicans have a 56% chance of controlling the Senate. Our mean seat projection is 51 and 49. There's only 100, folks. That is a nail biter. That is extremely close. Right now, they ran a bunch of different ways that this could play out, like models of the situation. Republicans win 55 and 100, and Democrats win 45 and 100. That was like the common breakdown that they saw. Chance of winning a majority, which you just need 51. Right now, the day before, the edge is just going to Republicans. It's actually crazy to see how close it's getting. Pennsylvania is actually the state where it's actually one of the most hotly contested Senate seats. In fact, it's getting so ridiculous that you have on the Republican side, you have Oz, Dr. Oz from TV. And obviously right now, Trump is spending his time supporting him. And then you have Obama supporting Fetterman, the competitor there. So you have John Fetterman on one side, you have Oz on the other, Oz representing the Republicans, Fetterman representing the Democrats. It's getting to the point that two previous presidents are supporting them. They're campaigning for them literally actively as we speak. This particular seat is obviously massively important, but it really shows how close this election is. And I hope I'm really shining a light on why you got to vote. I don't care who you vote for. I just beg that you do vote. And it would be even nice if you did a little bit of research into the two candidates to make sure you're casting a vote for a person that you actually resonate with. But we know which way Elon's going, and I'm assuming he's voting in the state of Texas, so that's not really going to be a contested vote. But especially for my viewers in Pennsylvania, vote, vote, vote. Now, just to get back to what we were talking about here, Elon Musk encourages independents to vote for Republican Congress ahead of midterms. His reasoning is basically this. Hey, gridlock would be good. It would settle things down. That's honestly even what we heard from Mr. Wonderful, aka Kevin O'Leary. He was on CNBC's Squawk Box this morning, and that's what he said. He said, hey, if we get gridlock, a Republican Congress, a Democratic president, that allows the dust to settle. It allows us to all take a little bit of a breather. But when you look into a bit more, at least from the purview, the vantage point of Elon, there might be a little something else at play. A Republican-controlled Congress with a Democratic president would make it less likely for major changes impacting tech platforms to become law. And now that he owns a big tech platform, he might want to hit the brakes on that a little bit. On top of it, he also has a bone to pick with the current president. The Tesla CEO has also been at odds with the Biden White House as the president pushes for infrastructure reform and tries to encourage vehicle companies to go green. Musk accused President Joe Biden of ignoring his EV company in favor of paying more attention to legacy automakers. When this all happened, it was like kind of big news back, like he was tweeting at him of like, hey man, you're just ignoring us. And that's kind of funny because we also got this rich commentary from the president today. And if you haven't seen it, there's a video I posted on Rumble. It's on YouTube of 21 days left. That was a couple days ago of what's going on with the petroleum, particularly the diesel, the thing that makes a lot of trucks go. Our supply is not going in the right direction. But anyway, this is just rich commentary from the current president of the United States.
No more drilling.
No more drilling. That's not good. You also might be thinking, but that's the thing that he says we need to do more of. He's literally yelling at petroleum companies of we need more production. And then he's sitting here, no more drilling.
There is no more drilling.
Bad thing to say.
I haven't formed any new drilling.
Not so good.
No,
there's a girl just like arguing about where the new drilling is. And he's like, that's before I was president.
Thank you.
And then some of the people liked it. Obviously, if they're there at one of his discussions, they're going to be a supporter of him. But in terms of us and when it comes to vehicles and the whole oil situation, it's such an interesting situation where on one side, one day he's like, all of these capitalistic pig petroleum companies won't produce more. And then he's speaking today, the day before the election, saying, no more drilling. There is a very, very serious issue right now. In the short term, obviously, we need to fix it. In the long term, yeah, I agree. We should get off of this forever dwindling energy source. I'm not against that at all. It seems to be better for the planet. Hey, I'm for it. But in the short term, when people are, not getting their supplies, when they're freezing, when their bills are exploding through the roof, maybe, just maybe, not the best move. So just want to quickly share that. Musk's tweets have come under intense scrutiny since he acquired Twitter last month for $44 billion. His leadership has been marked by massive layoffs, spending pauses from some advertisers, and confusion about the platform's policy changes. So I really want to hone in on some of these advertisers who are allegedly not happy. The following companies halted all advertising on Twitter following Elon Musk's takeover. You could see General Motors, United Airlines, the list goes on and on and on and on. And the one that I found to be particularly funny is Pfizer. Like, what kind of stance is a pharmaceutical company making? Like, we're not going to advertise. Why are they advertising there anyway? If you look at any mainstream media, especially in the finance world, Pfizer is advertising on almost everything. Do you know how scary that is? That this for-profit company who literally admitted to maybe going a little bit too quick on things, maybe redacting a little bit too much information, maybe not being completely forthcoming with the entire public, advertises on everything? I don't know about you, but I don't come to Twitter to think, man, should I be taking this drug? Should I be taking that drug? Should I be taking no drug at all? I mean, the whole list is silly. Like, whatever, move on. They clearly missed out. And you might be thinking, but Matt, how do you know that they're missing out? How do you know that these companies are making the wrong decision? Well, it's pretty simple. Just in, Twitter user growth hits record high in first week under Elon Musk. Do you know how dumb you have to be as a marketing department to pull out when it's ripping? Twitter was, it was suspect. The business model, not so good. But with the whole shakeup and people just kind of wanting to see what goes on in this crazy situation, they're all flocking back. As in, they're all logging in, seeing random advertisers wherever they want. And now Pfizer's like, well, we don't know if we should hawk our medicine to them anymore. I just find it so interesting, so wildly strange, I suppose. It's a form of almost virtue signaling that does not add up in my mind, and not at all. It's just in a weird sense, it's virtue signaling where like the pot is calling the kettle black. We have it where they're saying, no, we just don't believe where Elon's taking the company. Maybe it's not good for humanity. But then on the other side, they're Pfizer. people who probably year over year in a legal case are proven to be lying to the entire public. They're throwing stones from a glass house for sure. And just to wrap this part up, here we go.
To call every state. In modern elections, more and more ballots are being cast in early voting and also by mail. And many states don't start counting those ballots until after the polls close on November 8th. So you heard the president say this the other night. He has been very clear on this as well. We may not know all the winners of elections for a few days. It takes time to count all legitimate ballots in a legal and orderly manner. That's how this is supposed to work, and it's important for us.
So right there, the press secretary of the White House already kind of front running this thing of, hey man, we probably won't have the answer for you right away. What? You can't add up numbers? You can't add up +1? There are countries right now who are far beneath us in terms of like first world, second world, third world, who get the election results day of, and you're telling us that the world's preeminent power cannot tell us the results in day one? We've put people on the moon, and you can't keep adding +1 per vote on whatever side? What upside down world do I live in where you cannot keep adding one until there's no more to add, and you tell us which one is a higher number? That's the type of arithmetic that we learned in first grade, where you just keep adding your Fruity Pebbles or your Cheerios to whatever side you needed to, and whichever pie was bigger was the winner. Where are we going that a country who has some of the most impressive technological developments cannot tell us what number is bigger? And obviously it's because of just the insane situation that our politics have gotten to. Obviously we have the technology. That's my whole point, is pointing out almost in my facetious nature that clearly we have the technology. We could do it, but no, politicians have to be politicians. This isn't just a left thing. This isn't just a right thing. This is me saying politicians suck ass, man. Like, the fact that this is somehow they're trying to normalize it, it is so incredibly messed up. And right now, I have to admit, it is a little bit humorous to kick back and see all of this turmoil. Elon buys Twitter, overspends. All of a sudden, the entire landscape of how news is presented to the public, of how people get their news, of how they digest it, just like that, has shifted. And you could tell they were not prepared for it at all, and the world goes haywire. And then for Elon to publicly state that he wants gridlock and he's voting Republican the day before the election, folks, there's not enough popcorn in the world to enjoy what's going on right now. And that's what you got to do. You got to enjoy it, because this is pure chaos, and we have a front row digital seat to all of it. So to really wrap it up, if you're cool with sharing it with me, I would kindly ask of you, who are you voting for? I obviously know it's midterm, so it might depend state on state. Are you voting red? You voting blue? You voting somewhere in the middle? Maybe a little mix match on your voting application there? Or you're not voting at all? I kind of said that awkwardly at the end because I really want you to vote. But no, seriously, I want to know. You voting right? You voting left? And obviously, if you don't want to share, you don't have to share. But I'm just curious, where's my audience at? Where are the Goonies at in the current circumstance of pure, unfiltered, unadulterated chaos? Please, please, please let me know.